Oh, hey! Oh, sorry about that. Oh, it's Kensie Coppin week here on the Boston Chris Show. Whew. It's fine. All right, so let me tell you a little bit about what happened this week with my friend Kensie Coppin. It has been almost 9 years since Kensie and I spoke together on this format, or on that one actually. And let me tell you, a lot of stuff has happened for Kensie in the meantime. Yeah, in 2024, Miss Kensie Coppin got her first #1 hit, and that song went viral. And then on top of that, she signs her very first record deal with Fame Studios in Muscle Shoals. Kensie Coppin is making waves, not only as an artist, which has been a dream of hers for 28 years. Can you imagine? 28 years she's been in the music business. And you're probably wondering, she doesn't even look 28 years old. I know, it's crazy. She started at 6 years old. Her first performance in front of her kindergarten class. And within 4 years of that 6-year-old performance, she was playing on the Grand Ole Opry. That's right. That Kensie Coppin is here on the show. We're going to talk with Kensie about so much stuff. Her growth and evolution, not only as an artist, which has been a dream of hers, but also as a published songwriter in Nashville. She's written #1 hits for other folks as well. Just an incredible artist, songwriter. And I think the biggest thing we're going to take out of this episode today is her journey with her mental health and how much that we can all learn from her path to finding herself. And just what an incredible episode today. I appreciate you guys tuning in. And I have homework for y'all. Make sure you hit that like button. If you want to see more in-depth, candid conversations like this one, hit the subscribe or follow button. And of course, as always, please comment down below your favorite part of this episode. And without any further ado, with our $1 million sound effects, let's get into it with Miss Kensie Coppin.
It's time to jam. It's time to mingle. It's time to see what everyone's drinking. It's time to jam. It's time to mingle. It's time to see what everyone's drinking. Until we all lose connection.
Hey, this is Matt James from Blacktop Mojo, and thank you for tuning in to the Boston Chris Show.
Hey guys, it is Kensie Coppin week here on the Boston Chris podcast, and man, so stoked to catch up with Kensie. It's been, we were just talking about maybe 8 years since we last chatted on the show, and just so cool to see everything that's going on in your life and how well you're doing, and thank you so much for doing this again.
Well, thank you for asking me. It was a pleasure last time, and I'm sure it's going to be great today as well.
Well, the format has changed, and I think it's a lot more fun now. Last time I was kind of willy-nillying it back then, and I have more of a streamlined approach this time. I wanted to chat a little bit about your current single, which is called Heartbreak Queen, in the top 50 in Texas right now. Can you tell us a little bit about this song?
Yes, so growing up in Texas, I was singing in the dance halls as a little girl, and I loved watching the women two-step. I loved watching anybody two-step, but it seemed like the women would get dressed up and go dancing on the weekends and never really go home with anybody. They just wanted to two-step. So that's kind of the premise of this song is I wanted to write about people and women that love to go kind of be a little bit of a tease and go dance and then never go home with anybody. Kind of encourage young girls to go have fun, but that doesn't mean you have to, go home with anybody.
Yeah. I love the vibe. I love the message too. Yeah, it should.
Thank you.
We should be normalizing those kind of things, right? Like just going out doesn't mean that there's anything. It doesn't mean that anybody wants any certain thing from that, you know? I mean,
Right.
Human beings want to have fun, and I mean, there's a lot of people out there that probably stay away from the clubs because of that expectation, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. And, I feel like when I was growing up, dancing was a bigger thing. I guess it was like a more of a pastime. There were more dance halls back then, even 10 years ago. And I feel like we've kind of gotten away from dancing. And that's one of the things that can really give us some stress relief. So,
Yeah. Just change the expectation in what a dance means. It's not supposed to mean anything other than fun. So, yeah, I
exactly.
love that, and the song is doing really, really well, and I'm sure you're really proud of it. And where did
Definitely.
you grow up, Kenzie? I know it was in Texas, but I'm not sure where.
So I was born in Temple, Texas, about an hour and a half north of Austin. And then I moved to Bulverde, which is outside of Spring Branch, outside of San Antonio, if we're thinking about a city, out in the hill country. I moved out there when I was 5 and lived there, grew up there until I was about 13, and then moved to Nashville. So I'm kind of I always say I'm a Texas Tennessee hybrid, but I grew up in the hill country. That's my core for
Yeah.
sure. And Temple is kind of like just past the northern tip of the hill country, and where I live right now is the very northern tip of the hill country. So the hill country is where my heart resides.
Yeah, and I mean, we chatted with you back in the day, and you were essentially a child artist. I mean, you were a kid performer, and all of that. Got started
Yeah.
really, 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 really young, at like age 6. So this is
Yeah.
really all you've ever known, right?
For sure. For sure. Yeah. I actually, when I, when I talk to my therapist, he's like, "So what do you like to do for fun? What are your hobbies?" I'm like, does it have to be different than music? Because
Yeah.
that's all I do. Um, but yeah, that's all I've known. And even in school, I graduated a year early from high school because I was like, I'm ready to just do music. And I was a preschool teacher for about 3 years and was a nanny and all of that. So childcare was big in my life for about 8 years when I was young. And that really has had an impact on me, where I would love to be a part of helping children in some way at some point.
Is there, like, looking back at look, I mean, the music business is hard for an adult, as you know. I mean, just trying to do that as a kid, and then be a kid too, right? Like, focus on school, focus on friendships, and all the things that we're supposed to do as kids. Looking back at that now, do you have any regrets of not doing something more kid friendly on the side? You know what I mean? Like, was there balance between being a kid and the music?
Yeah, there was some balance for sure. I tried to do sports, and it just wasn't my thing. I don't like competing, and I love to be a part of a team, but I don't like to compete. So, and I'm not that athletic. Like I can do workouts and stuff, but my both my siblings were in sports and they were like track stars and really good at it. And so I tried my hardest just to have something outside of music. It didn't work out. So I did dance, and I loved that. And I mean, pretty much all of it was music. And I do feel like looking back, I don't regret it, but I do feel like I missed out in some ways as a child, with childlike play and childhood stuff. Because, performing all the time and being, having to have my face on and, the mask, I'd say,
Mm-hmm.
was really adult and very mature thinking. And so my mind, I feel like, has been an adult since I was far too young.
Yeah, and
Um,
it
yeah,
makes me curious if that's kind of why you had that passion for childcare there for a while too. Like,
for sure, for sure. I think that now too, I am getting back in touch with my inner child, where I'm trying to find things that is that I kind of missed out on, in my childhood. And so I'm trying to find things that are like hobbies and childlike play. And uh, yeah, I loved experiencing everything I experienced as a child. You
Yeah.
know, I did some pretty incredible things as a little girl, and looking back, it's weird because I'm still the same soul. So if I felt the same back then as I do now, if that makes sense,
Sure.
like
Yeah.
as far as the core of me. So I do miss being a kid, like not having to worry about bills and worry about just life in general.
I think that's all of us, though, right?
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. But yeah, I don't regret anything. I know that I've asked myself that a lot. I wrote a song called Would I, and it's like, would I change it if I knew the end? And I've thought a lot, like all these things that I regret, or things that I may not be super proud of. Would I change them? You know, would I go back and make a different decision? I might think that in the moment right now, but it wouldn't have led me to where I am now. And so really I wouldn't change any course of action because I wouldn't be here. And
Yeah, I mean, because any small decision or choice can have monumental impacts on our life. And I mean, who knows what would change based on the smallest thing, right? That butterfly
sure.
effect. Let me ask you this: as a kid, did was music kind of an escape for you from real life things?
Absolutely. It was a way for me to be heard and to be seen. And it was a way of escape for sure. And I didn't realize that when I was super young. I didn't know that that was really the core reason why I wanted to perform and be on stage in front of people and like get that validation or get that applause. But you know, I've been very open online about things that have happened to me in my life, and especially as a young girl. And so it makes sense that I was looking for something to help me not have to live in that reality and not have to be in that mentality all the time. So for sure,
Getting out
I
of that
think,
headspace, right?
yeah, for sure. And also, when I first started writing songs, I was 13, and I would write things that I hadn't experienced, and I would put myself in other people's shoes and think of different scenarios like cheating and heartbreak, and I was writing very mature themes, but it was also a way for me to just kind of get out of my own reality. And yeah, definitely an escape.
So you talk about that mask. That mask can be two-sided, right? Like it can be a good thing, it can be a bad thing, right? So like,
Yeah.
I completely understand it. I think it's interesting that, I mean, at 13 years old, you've already been performing music for half of your life at that point. You're already essentially a veteran in the industry. You've already performed on the Opry a couple of times with some massively known bands, right, at the time.
Yeah.
And so what's that look like for you as a youngster, going from kind of a performer, a child performer, now you want to write? Like, where's that inspiration coming from to take that step?
You know, it's interesting because I started writing poems probably about the same time that I started writing, or I started performing, excuse me. And I never thought that songwriting would be a part of my career or my life, honestly. I loved performing, and my dad encouraged me to pick up the guitar. He was like, you know, most singers, female singers, this at this time, are not really guitar players. They're performers. So if you want to stand out, you know, pick up an instrument. So I picked up the guitar. I had tried fiddle. I had done piano, and I loved those, but I didn't practice enough. And I wasn't super passionate about it. So when I picked up the guitar and I taught myself a couple of chords, the songs just started falling out of me, and without me really having to try. So that was a whole new outlet. That was a whole new escape of wow, I have these words and these melodies in my head that I didn't even know were in there, and they're just falling out of me. So I'm just going to run with this. I'm just to see, how this is going to pan out. I know that a lot of my influences were incredible songwriters. I was just listening to a little bit of your interview with Rodney Foster. He's always been one of my favorites, and Dean Dillon, who is top tier
Yeah.
country music songwriter. So I've always been very intrigued by songwriters, but never really
You knew those names
made
at that
that a
young
goal.
age?
Yeah,
Wow.
for sure.
Wow.
I dug into the albums. Any album that I loved, I dug
Awesome.
into who produced it,
Yeah.
who wrote the songs, the players, everything. But anyways, songwriting just kind of it became a world of its own. And then a couple of my mentors in Nashville started teaching me how to co-write, and that was a whole new world. I was like, this is so fun. I get to collaborate with somebody on an idea I have and get their perspective. And so I did not expect that I would be a number one songwriter now, like as an adult. That's
Yep.
really cool. And it's surreal sometimes. So, I expected to be a performer and a singer, but not a songwriter. So it's pretty cool how it's evolved.
And you mentioned mentors and co-writing. I definitely want to chat with you about that in a little while, because some of the people that you've written with are a who's who, right? Like you talk about Rodney and Dean Dillon. I mean, some of these guys too are pretty badass, and I want to talk about that in a minute. But your relationship with kind of Texas and Nashville has kind of shifted over the years. You go from one to the other, back and forth. What is that like? Is it just because you're in one place you miss the other, or like what's going on with that?
Well, so gosh, as a kid, it was more about the people that were intrigued by me that were in the industry. After I sang on the Opry specifically, a person from William Morris, and another couple people, they suggested to my parents that I move to Nashville, or that I at least go to Nashville, take some meetings and see what people say. Got some really good feedback, and they were like, you should come here and just kind of grow up around the business, or like help her grow up around the business and learn the business. So that was the initial reason why we went to Nashville, was to get me kind of acquainted with that. When I moved in 2018, I had done the Larry Joe Taylor songwriting competition, and I'd won my round, and I was in the semifinals or the finals, I can't remember. And I had Larry Joe and Bernie Nelson come to me, and they were like, "You're such a great songwriter. We really think you should go back to Nashville and just kind of find yourself as an artist and write more songs." And I also had Robert Gallagher on the Ranch Factor when I did that competition. He said the same thing. He's like, "You fit in perfect with Nashville. Think you'd do great there." So these people I looked up to, and they were mentors in a way. And so I took their advice, and also just had this feeling that I wasn't done with Nashville, that there was more to discover inside of me and with Nashville. Because when I left Nashville, I was really jaded. I was really hurt. And because I had been rejected, and a deal that I had been working on fell through. And, as a 17-year-old, that's really heartbreaking. So I had this chip on my shoulder, and I didn't want to have a chip on my shoulder, because there are beautiful things that come out of Nashville, and there are great things that you can learn. So my goal really was to go and write better songs, because I knew that I was a decent songwriter, but I knew my potential. I knew that I could be so much better. And that's the hub of, if you want to get in the rooms with those badasses,
Yep.
you got to go there. So that was really the main thing. And then when I started visiting every couple months, I I made it a goal of mine to work with Irv Woolsey, and I got that deal done. So within a couple years, I secured a publishing deal with him and just started writing my butt off. I mean, I don't even know how many songs I wrote in that first year, but it was insane. I went to all the writers rounds and met anyone I possibly could, took any numbers, really listened to people's songs at the writers rounds, and anyone that clicked with me or resonated, I would make it happen. So I grew so much in that time in Nashville. I never went after a record deal. I did try to go after a couple more publishing deals after my deal was up with Irv, but I didn't try that hard. Like I went to a couple meetings and like got their feedback, and then I was like, I'm just gonna keep rolling.
Isn't that interesting how, you start off as a performer and an artist, and songwriting was never really on your plate, was never in your peripheral. And then, years later, you're an adult, and it was the publishing songwriting side of things that you were most excited about. And
For sure.
yeah, I love how that circular nature is so part of our lives.
Yeah.
I feel like you have unique perspective when it comes to the Nashville versus Texas thing, right? Because you've been in both places. You have extreme experience in both as a songwriter and an artist. And as you know, as a country music fan yourself, there's a lot of tug of war going on between Texas and Nashville, especially from a consumer fan place. I don't want to talk about negatives today. Let's talk about the positives from both sides. What do you think of the pros for both Nashville and for Texas as an artist?
Man, I think for Texas, you get the live performance experience top notch, like top tier. You're getting to play venues that you're really cutting your teeth. You're really learning how to perform and how to hold a crowd and how to get people on the dance floor, how to sell tickets, all of that stuff. I think that there's so much authenticity in Texas. Texas music is very different. It's its own thing, as we know, and there's little pockets like the rock side and the folky side and the super traditional country, Texas swing. I mean, so many different subgenres, I guess.
Yeah.
And I think that you can really build an incredible fan base off live performances in Texas. In Nashville, you can do that, but it's you don't really make money, and it's hard. You can't pay your bills. You got to get a day job with it, and it's also a lot of cover songs. So that's to me the positive of Texas, and also the fans. Everyone in Texas to me is just so authentic and kind and supportive and real. And I'm not saying that that's not the case in Nashville. It's just that Nashville's a smaller vicinity, and you have so many artists. I mean, it's oversaturated
It's
with
crazy.
songwriters and artists. It's like, how do you stand out? And then you're just almost climbing over people to get to the same place, and it can get a little chaotic. So I feel like there's so much room in Texas, right? Texas is the biggest, and it's amazing. And I missed it so much when I was in Nashville. For Nashville, the positives I think are, like we're talking about, the songwriting. You're more likely to get in a room or a venue with people that are better than you, which is always great because iron sharpens iron, and you have to be around people that are a few steps ahead of you to learn. So I love that about Nashville, and also the networking piece of it, that you're in one small area, so it's easier to network. I think Texas has gotten so good at that too, because there's like little hubs everywhere now. I think that's amazing. And back in 2016, when I was, doing Texas, I think the hubs were trying to find their place. Like I was in Stephenville, and that was a big hub at the time. Fort Worth was a big hub. Lubbock. But now it feels like it's grown so much to where there's more of a solid foundation on the hubs, and you can pick which spot you want to be in. So I think that's amazing. And when I was in Nashville, I was so homesick the entire time. I mean, it was really, really hard on my soul to live in Nashville. And I could have honestly probably stayed in Texas and just visited back and forth. But, I chose a different path, and I was so homesick. And for a solid year, 2023, I knew I wanted to move back to Texas. And I knew that was the next move for me, because I had accomplished my goal. My goal was to write better songs. My goal was to find myself as an artist in Nashville. That meant I got to go into some really incredible studios and find my sound and find who I like to work with. What kind of people do I want around me? So I was like, it's time to go home. I got to get back to my roots.
Yeah, you talked about iron sharpening iron in Nashville. So it's almost like you go to Nashville to get your weapons sharpened, and then you come to Texas to slay everybody, right?
I'm not trying to slay anybody. I'm just like, I feel like one of my missions in life is to inspire others to just keep upping the ante.
Yeah, getting better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Complacency kills, man, for sure. Especially in the music business, man. It's like, look, for you as a young person, right? You're playing on the Opry at 11 and 12 years old. I mean, you had the ultimate chance to just be complacent and settle for what you had. And you decided to up the ante and become a songwriter. And then, I mean, that's just a whole new can of worms.
Yeah.
So yeah, you've been fighting complacency since you were very, very little. So I imagine you've learned a lot from that. But yeah, I feel like the whole Nashville and Texas thing is almost like two sides of Kensie Coppin, and and not just in a geographical way. It's more like artist versus songwriter too, because like the Texas side of you, I always see you as an artist in Texas, but the Nashville side of you, I see you as more of a songwriter, obviously. And I think that's kind of how the way it goes for a lot of folks in Texas. They go to Nashville to write, they come home to Texas to be an artist. Right. But you've had a lot of success here in Texas too, writing for other folks. You talked about being a #1 songwriter. Now you had a phenomenal song by Kinfo. That was #1. I know you have others as well, but I wanted to chat a little bit about your songwriting, because obviously there's an evolution process, a maturation process over the years. What is that looking like for you? Like getting better? You talked about being around people that are better than you. You really have to kind of shut your ego off for that, don't you?
Yes, for sure. Yeah, that's the biggest thing, I think, in a room, if you're co-writing, especially if it's someone that is a hero of yours, really anybody, but you got to shut it down, and it will be the elephant in the room if you let it hang on. Pride and ego is not your friend if you're trying to co-write or get better, challenge yourself. That's what I've always loved is challenging myself, and which in turn challenges others, right? And so yeah, you can't have the ego in the room, and that's really difficult as humans.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a huge part of the human journey, and it's hard to shut down.
Well, a lot of
really.
people fail Nashville for that reason, right? They go into the room and they don't want to learn because they already think that they're the best or whatever, right? And I mean, look, we mentioned earlier some of the co-writers that you've been writing with, people like Gary Nichols, D. Vincent Williams, Bernie Nelson. You mentioned earlier LJT, like these amazing songwriters that I imagine are helping shape you, even if they're not trying to help you shape You're probably sponging off of those folks. What are you learning in that you start being a songwriter at a young age? What are you learning from folks like that have been doing it for so long?
I've learned a lot. One of the biggest things is letting the song be the song.
Yeah.
So
Letting the song go where it wants to go, right?
exactly.
Yeah.
And really fine tuning little things. Really, what's the term in grammar class? Can't remember. Basically going through and editing and not being afraid to come back to a song, even if you think it's done, even if you think it's polished, still being able to let that pride down, let that ego down, and go back to those songs and fine tune them, polish them up, and make them better. And I still struggle with this with my pride, where I'm like, no, it's great the way it is. And sometimes that's the case. Sometimes you just let the song be the song. But then other times it's worth it to go back and polish it up. It's just like House That Built Me was rewritten like 3 times until it was The House That Built Me. So, you can't be afraid to set it down. Sometimes for years it'll sit there. And then one day you listen to it and you're like, oh, that's where it needs to go.
Sometimes you don't find that last puzzle piece until years later, right? Like sometimes a song is just lacking 1 or 2 pieces, and then life experience brings you those pieces years later, and then that song is still on the peripheral of your mind, and you're like, oh my gosh, there it is. That's what belongs there. There's stories like that all over the place with uber successful songs.
Yeah, and these guys like D. Vincent and Gary and Barrett Baber, they are constantly thinking of lyric. They're constantly hearing melody. They'll be walking around just coming up with random lines. And I think that it's practicing that, flexing that muscle every day if you can. And most days I will write something, even if it's a journal entry. It doesn't have to be a song or a poem or a rhyme at all. Like just flexing the muscle of exercising your brain and coming up with words, writing it on paper. If a melody hits you, just going into your voice notes and putting that little melody down, because it could be the intro to the next hit song you have. But yeah, you hit the nail on the head with the life experience. I can't really think of any examples of my own songs right now, but there have been songs that I come back to all the time. They'll come into my head and I'll start singing them like I wrote this 7 years ago, but I put it down because there's certain things about it that I'm like, well, it's not complete. It's not polished, but it still comes into my head. Like it wants to be born, and it wants to be finished, and it wants to be out in the world, and it's all about grabbing onto those things. So one of my best friends, Chancey Neal, she gave me a book called Big Magic. And if there are any creatives, especially young creatives listening to this, go read Big Magic. It is such a good book. It's all about creativity and ideas, and how ideas are constantly flowing through the ether, right? Through the universe. And sometimes a brilliant idea will come into your head, and it's up to you to catch it, and up to you to
be ready for it.
Right. And like hone it and baby it and bring it to fruition. If you don't, and you let that idea kind of just pass through, then it's gonna go into somebody else. It's inevitable. So there's times when I've had an idea or I've written a song, and then I hear the same exact thing on the radio, or the same idea on the radio, and I'm like, damn it,
Yep,
why didn't I catch that one?
That's where the saying "I should have wrote that" came from, right?
Yeah. But if you think of it, it's just like, it's not people stealing your idea, because for the longest time I was so it was my ego, so jaded and so frustrated when I would have a great idea and I would write it, and then the same idea would come out and it would be a hit song, and I'm like, well, they stole my idea, you know. And this book changed my perspective completely on that, because we are all, as a collective, experiencing the same energies coming in and out, flowing through the ether. And I mean, it's just up to us to take that idea and run with it. And if you don't, you snooze, you lose. You catch the next
that's a
one.
great thing to learn too. And the other thing is, right, as a young songwriter, you're just being inspired. You're going to write a certain way. You mentioned earlier that you're just hearing melodies, you're hearing lyrics, they're coming in, and you're writing a lot because of that. You're learning that. You've probably got a lot of stuff up there. When you run into a professional songwriter, a veteran songwriter, they kind of can teach you how to write in different ways than you've already known, right? Like if you're melodic first, they can teach you how to be lyrical first. If
Right.
they can teach you how to write a story around a title or a hook, and those weaknesses that you may not even know that you have can be shored up by those veteran guys and girls, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Especially the way I see it, and if it's visual, is like you have this idea, and then you have all of these possibilities with it, all these probabilities, and some of those veterans just teach you how to go like this, put it into one lane, and then you just focus on that. Writing to a hook is one of the biggest things I learned, and I always wanted to learn that, like growing up listening to Dean Dillon and Redding Foster. It's like they always wrote to a great hook, right? And that's hard to do.
Mm-hmm.
It, like every line of a song going back to the hook, it's difficult. Some people are just so naturally great at it, and it just clicks, but I have to work at it, but it's fun as well. But there's, that's when polishing and going back and reforming the song is important, because the hook is, in country music at least, usually everything. So
Yeah, certainly is. And most songwriters don't write to a hook. Most of them don't. Most of them have a story and they write the story.
yeah, I love that too.
Yeah, but that's not as commercial as you know. I mean, being both sides, that's not a very commercial way of writing. You have to have that hook, whatever it is. Sometimes the melody's the hook. Sometimes there's a lyrical hook. You know all this. I mean, I'm not a songwriter, but
Yeah,
you know what's
yeah.
up. I love chatting with you. You've grown so much since the last time we chatted, and I'm sure you knew that already. But I wanted to chat with you about something that's really important to you, I imagine, and that's your journey with your mental health. And
Yes.
and I know that partly, one of the reasons why I reached out to you is because I knew that you were going to be taking a break, and I saw that post on social media where you were like, I'm tired, I just need some time, and I was like, well, maybe now's a good time to chat because I know how busy y'all are.
Yeah.
Chat a little bit about your mental health journey and how that kind of shapes your art or affects your art as a writer.
Okay. I don't know where to start. That's a loaded question.
Sure.
So I've struggled with my mental health, depression, anxiety, and PTSD pretty much my whole life. I've been in therapy and on and off medication since I was 15. I'm 34 now. And I have done EMDR and self-hypnosis. I've done talk therapy, cognitive behavioral therapy. And there's other stuff in there that I can't remember right now, but a lot of deep diving into the root cause of my depression and my anxiety, because those are just symptoms, right? That's just the nervous system's way of saying something's wrong, maybe not wrong, but something's going on and we are out of balance. We're in dysfunction, right? And it's been over half my life of kind of waxing and waning, a roller coaster ride. and I know everyone goes through it. Everyone has really high, happy moments, and then they come down and they, maybe something happens in their life and they're grieving or whatever. But for me, it's been a lot more extreme, and it runs in my blood on both sides. So there's a lot of factors that I have been up against, I'd say, that I've really had to hone in on it and like take it by the horns and be like, no, I am in control. Maybe not that I'm not in control, but I'm going to take this on. And just like I like to challenge myself as a songwriter and a performer and a singer, I'm going to challenge myself on this. I'm not going to let this defeat me, basically. And it almost did, and
I just got to interject real quick. You mentioned earlier in the show that you're not competitive in sports. You are very competitive with yourself, though, aren't you?
very, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because the way I see others and the way I view humans and the way I view others is so different than the way I view myself. And that's one thing that I have really dove into in therapy is, why am I so mean to myself? Would I say this to anybody else? No. Would I treat anybody else this way? Absolutely not. Would I let someone get to the point that I got to? No.
I mean, this is good, though, Kensie. Like, you understand that you are treating yourself worse than every other person on the planet. The fact that you can kind of come to terms with that and really unpack that internally is good. I'm sure you know that. The other thing that I really wanted, the main reason why I wanted to chat with you today was because I wanted to tell you that typically when you're dealing with mental health and burnout and all of that stuff, the typical thing to do is to throw yourself into the thing you know the most. And that is, for you, probably music or songwriting or something music related. And you understood that it was time for a break and that you needed time for yourself, with yourself. And I mean, that's huge. And I just wanted you to know that that's freaking awesome that you took that step. That had to be difficult.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. That means a lot to me because I got a little bit of flack for that. And, it's frustrating because it's so important. And, in our society, it's been normalized to just burn it at both ends and run yourself into the ground just for the sake of success, whatever that looks like for you. And I want to inspire others to normalize balance in life, because when I went and checked myself into the mental hospital and I got out, I had no other option but to go be with my family, be by myself, and take some time off, like you're talking about. And I took, a few months off. And for the first time in my life, I realized that I had never done that. I didn't even know who I was. I thought that I was Kensie, the singer, songwriter, period. Right. I didn't know what I like to do for fun. I didn't know what I enjoyed outside of music. Completely lost of who I am at the core. So I had no other option but to go so deep inside and say, okay, what's going on? Why am I allowing myself to, I don't know. It's hard for me to put it in words right now, honestly. Basically, what I'm trying to say is, I don't want other people to have to go through what I went through to understand that taking breaks and balance is important and that it's okay. Mm-hmm. That other people's opinions and judgments should not detour you from taking care of yourself, because I got to a point of not taking care of myself so badly that I did not want to be here anymore. Mm-hmm. And I was so exhausted, I didn't see a point in continuing on. and that's not how we should live.
I agree. And we have that inner voice too, right? That wants us to believe that if we think we're important, if we think we have self-importance, that's a selfish way to think, right?
Right,
And
exactly.
I mean, there's such a huge divide of difference between self-importance and selfishness, in my opinion. And of course,
Yeah.
we're always going to convince ourselves that that divide is not quite as wide as we think it is. But
Hmm.
understanding that you have importance, not just to yourself, but to other people, is so important for your existence, right? Just, and
Right.
you talked about judgment from other people. That can go both ways too, good or bad, right? Good judgment, bad judgment, they can both have a detriment on you as a person, you
Yes,
know?
yes, yes, because even good judgment, you're trying to keep up with the standard.
Mm-hmm. And that's
And
when you go the hardest too, because you got all these good things happening to you, and that's when you can lose sight of yourself the easiest, I think, right?
well, and that's kind of what happened this year. I had I had an incredible comeback coming back to Texas, and I didn't expect that. I really didn't. I was actually really terrified to come back to Texas because I had gone back to Nashville. I was like, well, here we go. I know how it works. So I was extremely nervous. Um, but that song hit, and it hit bigger than I thought. So I was really running and gunning from the moment, seriously, from the moment it went number one. I stayed on the road. I stayed so insanely busy. Um, and after the flood happened in the Hill Country, that really hit me hard. And I know it hit everybody hard.
Mm-hmm.
And Texans especially. And I felt that wave of grief and uh, darkness and all of those things. And I did not give myself any time to process. I wasn't giving myself time to process any of my accomplishments. I wasn't giving myself time to process anything that was happening in my life. If I went on a phenomenal trip and all these awesome things happened and I got home, I didn't give myself a couple days to process. It was on to the next thing.
Yeah,
So
on to the next mentality. Yes.
yeah, and that's kind of like that can steal a lot of your joy because
Oh, it steals all of it. You don't have time to.
yeah,
You don't have time for joy.
yeah, exactly. And it's you don't sit down and think, wow, that's a big deal. Like I accomplished that, kudos.
Yeah.
Good job. You did it. It's no, not good enough. Keep going. No, not good enough. Keep going. No, not good enough. Keep going. That's what goes on in my head.
On to the
And
next. On to the next. On to the next.
yeah,
Yep.
and it's so unhealthy. So when I decided to I had done, I think it was 3 or 4 benefits, and I was super broke. Um, and I had to back out of one of the benefits, and it was a very tough decision because I want to support
Mm-hmm.
the flood victims. I want to be a part of the flood relief. I want to donate my time and my voice and all of these things. But when it gets to at the sake of my mental health and my peace, am I really giving? Like, if I have nothing to give, what am I giving?
I mean,
You
there's
know?
nothing. Yeah, there's nothing.
So it was a really tough decision, but I called the guy that was running it, and he was like, "Thank you so much for giving me a call. I completely understand." And I felt really bad about that, but I also I know my breaking point, and because I've gotten to that deep dark place, I know when I'm headed there again
Uh,
and what I have to do to pull myself out.
I think the question here from most interviewers would be, what is your advice to other people that are dealing with their own mental health journey? But that's not going to be my question. I think my question is, if you could give yourself advice back before your journey began, from what you know now, what would your advice be to that younger Kensie that's about to go on that journey?
before my mental health journey,
Mm-hmm.
I would give myself the advice to come out and be completely open and honest about the things that were happening to me, the inappropriate things that were happening, the traumatic things that were happening that I thought I could keep to myself because I felt that I was strong enough inside to carry them. I would say open up and just let it out, because then you take the power away from it and then people can help you a lot sooner. I've always been the type to be like, no, I'm taking this on and I've got this. I'm tough. And sometimes being vulnerable, honestly, most of the time, being vulnerable and just honest is going to get you further than hiding it and letting it fester.
Rip the
I let
Band-Aid
it,
off.
yeah, rip the Band-Aid off and don't be afraid of judgment, good or bad.
I love it. You know, you and I are not close. We're not particularly close friends or anything, but I am a fan of yours. I've loved your music for a long time. I want you to know
Thank
I
you.
am proud of you. I'm very proud of
Thank
you.
you.
Yeah, and I know that
Thank you
can.
so much.
I know that can mean the difference sometimes when somebody says that. So,
Definitely.
yeah, I'm very proud of where you are, and I'm so happy that you're able to self-identify when you need something, and that's really the first step, right? Like that's really
Yeah.
it. Like just understanding and accepting. But let's chat about the frickin' ridiculous stuff that is happening to you. Um, just recently, we're talking so much about songwriting, but Kensie's first love was to be an artist, and here it is. I guess it was 2024. You moved back to Texas, and then you signed a record deal with
Yes.
Fame in Muscle Shoals. Let's freaking go, bro! Like, what is that? That had to be
Oh my
surreal,
God.
right?
Oh, it's so crazy. I think it's hilarious that I went to Nashville and I ended up signing my first record deal in Muscle
Right
Shoals.
down the road, essentially, right? But
Yes. Yes. Wow. I met Rodney Hall. He's the owner of Fame
hmm
Studios, Rick Hall's son,
yep.
back in 2021, I believe. And he watched me just bust my butt for a couple of years and was a fan from the get-go, but just seriously, I went from the worst spot that I'd ever been in, the deepest hole I'd been in, and he watched me, pull myself out of that and just keep on going and working hard and getting better. And he came to me and he was like, let's do a record. I want to do a record. I'm like, hallelujah. Praise Jesus. So like finally. Um, so we signed the deal and we'd actually recorded before we signed it, which was really cool because it was like we both had this trust already
hmm
of kind of a handshake. Like, I know that you're going to follow through and I'm going to follow through. So we signed the deal and it's a one record deal, which I think is amazing. Um, and if it hits so many numbers or streams or whatever, then we'll do another one. And it's so simple. It's like, nothing crazy. But the best studio that I have gotten to record in, just incredible.
So I've been to
Um,
Fame. I got to visit there once, just to hang out and check it out, and it is so like, man, it's so vibey in there. It's like all the history in there, right? So like,
yeah,
you talked about earlier, you being a liner note kind of girl. I'm that person, right? Like I want to know who the writer is and the harmonica player or whatever, right?
right.
And like
Yes.
like being in a historical place like that, it's like goosebumps the whole time you're there for me.
Yeah, you can feel it. There's definitely an energy, and I think since Rick Hall passed, I think he's just there
Yeah.
all the time
I mean, he has to be, right?
for sure.
Yeah.
And there's been some pretty magical moments that have happened when I'm doing my vocals in there. That's like otherworldly. There's no other way to explain it other than there is some magic and some spirits and some
Yeah.
some history in
You
that
definitely
place.
feel it. When's the record coming out? We've been waiting.
I know, January. January.
Is that final answer?
Yes.
Okay.
So we have a tentative date, and I just got the not the rough mixes, but the rough comps back. Anyways, a part of the process of the record. I finally got to hear the last 7 songs that we did a couple of months ago, and I'm so excited. I am so freaking excited. I feel like this body of work kind of encapsulates the last 10 years of my life, and not really in an emotional way or like a deep way. The last 10 years of my life have been party on Wayne. Half of that was party on Wayne, and then half of that was self-discovery. So there's a couple of songwritery songs on there, and a song about wanting to find my love, and Texas swing, and just some barn burners, Texas two-step, very, very Texas rooted, honestly. So I can't wait for Texans specifically to hear this album, because Texas never left me. Being in Nashville, I was the proudest Texan in Nashville, and everyone was like, okay, shut up.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
we get it.
That's the way it be, too. I got to say,
Yeah.
Starting as a 6-year-old at your kindergarten talent show, 28 years later, she said finally earlier, this is the debut record for
Yes.
Kensie Coppin. It's just insane to think about 28 years later. And I mean, this is quintessentially you living your dreams now, right? As an artist.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I do feel like I have pretty much my whole career. Being an independent artist, I've definitely lived my dream, because I've made my own schedule. I call the shots. I'm creatively in control. But at this point, I'm like, okay, help me. I need help.
Yeah.
I'm floundering.
I definitely wanted to chat with you. You mentioned a little bit, alluded to Texas and Me, which is the big song, the #1, the viral hit, the multiple viral moments with it. This song, this is not her saying this is me saying this. This song has become kind of a Texas anthem, especially for the girls, I feel. And you know that, right?
I mean, I don't know that, but now I do.
Yeah, it truly has. And I'll tell you what, I'll be at like a restaurant or something, and I'll hear somebody singing it. Or
What?
Oh yeah, it happens. It happens more than you know.
Oh my gosh.
I deliver food like part-time on the side for DoorDash, and I have heard people singing your song at least twice since I've started. Just like, yeah, it's always girls, which I love.
Oh my God.
Because I know that probably means a lot to you to kind of be an idol to younger girls, especially in a male-dominated industry, as we both know. Texas has been very hard on women. It's getting better. It's getting better.
Yes,
so
it
that's
is.
good.
Yes, it is.
I wanted to tell me about the song. How did it come to be? Like, take us into the room.
So I had to write with my friends Lee Tucker, JC Anderson, and Richie Brown. And Richie's also from Texas. And I was just going in like any other day. I'm going to just write whatever comes out for somebody else. As a songwriter, you're thinking whatever the song's going to be is what it's going to be. But as an artist, it's a different thing to go in and say, okay, I'm going to write a song for me today, from my perspective and about me. And so I sat down, I was like, yeah, exactly. Exactly. Right. And I sat down and I was like, so what are we going to write today? Who are we writing for? And they were like, well, we want to write for Kensie Coppin.
Let's go. I love it.
I was like, all right, okay. And
I love it.
Of course, Texas was the big theme, because I was homesick for almost 8 years living up there. And I wanted to say, like, because that town has a way of breaking you down to your skivvies.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to say, like, no, I have grit, and I have a very strong bloodline, and I am from Texas, by God. Like, I'm going to look you in the eye. I'm going to tell you like it is. And you're, whatever you see is what you're going to get. So, that's kind of how it came about. It just started flowing out as soon as we, I don't even know how we came up with That's Just the Texas in Me. It happened so organically, and it came from scratch, which those are some of my favorite songs that I've written, is songs that you don't have an idea when you come in the room. It just happens and scratch. So it was nice to have 3 men in the room that love me, that are very kind, that wanted to write about me and just let me run with it. Like, it was a really great experience. And I knew that when Rodney offered the deal, it's like, well, that has to be in there, and he said the same thing. And I just did not know it was going to hit like it did. And I'm so proud of it. I didn't know, you never know what life a song is going to take on when it's written, when it's born.
Mm-hmm.
You just have no idea.
When you release it into the world, like carrier pigeons, right? Like, see what it does. Yeah.
Yeah. So it means a lot to me for you to tell me that you've experienced that, because I haven't experienced any of those things. I see the numbers on Spotify. I see the numbers on YouTube. I see the number 1. And all of that is numbers. I don't see.
Well, it went viral on TikTok too, didn't it? Because I remember seeing it a few times on TikTok as a sound.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot that I don't see. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think because I'm really not great at analytics, and I do my best with admin work. But if I had somebody doing that, they'd probably be like, "Yo,
yeah,
I'm going to give you a spreadsheet."
Yeah. Well, I've heard the song
really
a couple
cool.
of times out and about in public. I've definitely heard it a few times on TikTok, which is usually a
Wow.
good thing too when people use your sound.
Yeah.
So it's just a killer song. It is anthemic, definitely anthemic here in Texas, and that's where you go, man. That's what you search for, right? As a writer, and just trying to reach the most amount of people with your content. Man, we have Kensie Coppin here. This is actually the second time I've chatted with Kensie. About 9 or 10 years in between convos. Hopefully we can go a lot shorter next time.
Yes, for sure.
But I have a bunch of fun segments. This is I talked about earlier how my platform, my format has changed, and this is where we have a lot of fun. These go out for TikToks and little reels and things. And I'm going to let you choose the segment on some of these based on the title of 2. And so you can try to figure out what they mean or whatever. It's fun. So first one, choose either Did You Know or Algorithm.
Did you know?
All right, so can you tell people something that they may not know about you?
Gosh. I like to bedazzle. Let me show you real quick.
Sure.
So I've been working on, my mom didn't know what to wear to the awards show. And she was looking for stuff, and she's like, I don't want to buy anything. Can you just bedazzle one of your shirts? So
Let's go.
I've been bedazzling this.
Oh my
And
gosh,
then,
that's
so
awesome.
I love, yeah, I mean, anyone that knows me and knows my style, I love shiny things, and I love rhinestones and all the corny stuff. But I've been working on this one. It says support your local artists. But yeah, I love to bedazzle.
Awesome stuff. So you're going to be there Sunday?
I will be there.
Very cool. I'm hoping to go as well.
So excited.
Yeah, me too.
It's going to be fun.
All right, next segment is called Impactful. This is kind of a new one. Can you name 3 people that impacted your life in some way? And then tell us the number 1 thing you learned from each of those people.
There's so many. Okay, well, I'm going to say Bernie Nelson. He has impacted me in so many different ways. Not only is he a very successful songwriter, but he has been around the business for so many years, and he impacted me by believing in me and encouraging me to do things outside of my comfort zone as an artist and a songwriter. and he gifted me my Gibson guitar. So he's impacted me in so many ways.
And he co-wrote that number one for Kinfo with you, didn't he?
No, he didn't.
Okay.
That was Garrett Thompson and Barrett
Oh,
Baber.
right. Okay.
Yeah. Um, my mom has impacted me so much and inspired me because she has been through the ringer, and she has had health issues for so long, and she is the perfect example of strength, perfect example of resilience. And I would not be the woman I am without her inspiration. Um, who else? Let's see. There's just so many. William Clark Green.
Nice.
Yeah, I was trying to think of Texas. He took me under his wing when I wanted to quit, and was so kind to be on my first EP and take me on tour to do harmonies and get that fire lit again. He's always supported me and believed in me, and so I always have to give a shout out to him because he is one of the reasons I did not give up on my music.
Incredible artist and songwriter as well, man.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, next segment. Choose either Mount Rushmore or one artist.
One artist.
All right, so who is one artist you wish the whole world knew about other than yourself?
I have a couple.
Okay.
Jackie Darlene.
I love Jackie.
I know. She should be like
Agreed.
so huge.
Yep.
My best friend Emma Zink. She is a rock star. My other best friend Chancey Neal, who is one of the best songwriters I know, and Lexi Lou, who is just all around badass.
Okay. Very cool. I'll be looking all of them up.
Yes,
that's a
please
very
do.
very selfish segment for me because I love to learn. I love to learn of new people.
I can give you a whole list, my friend.
Oh, I could too. Yeah, awesome. Okay, so next one, next segment's like a game show style segment called "What the Heck." We had
terrible
this
at
back
these.
in the day, so maybe I did this with you already. But basically, I have a bunch of questions here that are designed to put a visual into your head. So just tell me the first thing that comes to mind when you hear the question. All right, no change in answers.
Okay.
All right, number one, why do you think McDonald's doesn't serve hot dogs?
I don't know. I was gonna say because they only serve beef.
They sell chicken, Kenzie.
I know. That's why I couldn't.
Oh,
get-
and hot dogs are made of beef as well.
I know.
Supposedly.
I know. Listen, I'm so bad at these.
We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see. All right, number two. Which celebrity annoys you the most? She's got an answer.
I have a few, but I can't say it. I'll be in so much trouble. Okay.
How about
There's too
non-political? Which non-political celebrity annoys you the most?
Man, I don't know. I don't want to get in trouble.
Okay, I'll skip to the next one.
Let's skip it.
All right, we'll redo number two. How about what are you most afraid of? That'll be number two.
Failure.
Okay. Number three, what was your most awkward moment on stage?
Oh gosh. Most awkward moment on stage. I hope you can edit this, like take it out the dead zone time. I'm trying to rack my brain here. Awkward.
Like forgetting lyrics, tripping.
I'm so thankful I haven't tripped. Okay.
Wow, you might be the first one. Really, you've never tripped on stage.
No, and we're not going to put that out into the universe
I
because
think it's too late.
no tripping.
Oh my god.
I did have I'd say this is one of them. I did have a guitar player get so wasted one time at the Blue Light. In the middle of his guitar solo, he fell face first off the stage.
Oh my god.
That was awkward and embarrassing. Yeah. I mean, I was thankful it wasn't me, but there have been a lot of times in my early 20s that I was just way too drunk to be on stage. All those
And
moments
you've
were
never
awkward.
tripped. That's crazy. Karma's coming, Kensie.
No,
All right, number 4.
karma is kind.
All right, number 4. Oh boy. What is your best curse word alternative?
Uh, Sometimes I say like "what the hey," or I picked up one from Gary recently. When he wants to say the S word, he says sugar. Oh, sugar. I like that one.
That's a
And then-
Southeast thing, I think.
There's another woman I know that she says like what the fart.
Yeah. Oh my god, that's great. All
Like
right,
that.
last one, number 5. What do you think is your weirdest talent?
Well, it used to be yodeling. Like when I was young, I was a yodeler. I felt like that was kind of a weird talent.
I had an uncle that was a world champion yodeler.
What?
Mhm.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, his name was Kenny Roberts. He was the very first person to record the song "Blue" that Leanne Rimes
Wow.
made big.
That's so cool.
In fact,
I learned.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You were first.
He actually sued Sony because when the song came out for Leanne Rimes, they were saying that the song was never released and it was meant for Patsy Cline. And he released it on Star Day in the 50s.
I hope he won that.
He did. They settled.
Okay, good.
Well, he didn't win. They settled. Yeah.
Well, of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Shocker. What was the question?
Oh, I don't remember. All right, next segment. Choose either bucket list. Oh, it was yodeling. Your weirdest
Oh, yeah.
talent.
Okay.
Yeah, they called him the jumping yodeler. When he would yodel, he would jump. Like
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was crazy.
That's so hard to do.
Yeah, look him
like,
up. His name was Kenny Roberts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I would say I guess a talent that people don't know about is just how in tune with spirits I am. It's kind of strange.
I don't think so.
But-
That's cool, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so next segment, choose either bucket list or fly on the wall.
Bucket list.
Okay, so what's on your bucket list of things you still want to do?
I want to play Red Rocks Amphitheater. I want to sell out stadiums. And I want to tour pretty much all of Europe and Australia.
Yeah, Australia would be fun, I bet.
Yeah.
All right, next one. Choose either biggest lesson or moment of gravity.
Biggest lesson.
What do you think is... Oh, man, I can't wait to hear your answer to this. What do you think is your biggest lesson that you've learned directly from music?
Who you surround yourself with matters.
Very good stuff. Yeah, for sure, especially as an indie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, watch out for the snakes.
Absolutely, they're everywhere. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Look, they have. I learned this when I came back to. I took a 4-year hiatus from podcasting, and I learned when I came back in 24 that they had scammers out there that were trying to get artists to do their podcast, and then they would somehow scam them out of money or something. And I learned this the hard way. Like, nobody would give me the time of day at first because they thought I was a scammer. And I still deal with it, all the time.
That's so frustrating.
Yeah, it sucks. It truly does. So now I have a list of episodes that I've done, like the Radney Foster.
Yeah.
I'm like, please look at this. I chatted with Radney
This is
frickin'
real.
Foster. I'm real, I promise you.
Yeah.
Radney still has all his money, still has the Keith Urban National Kitchen. Next segment, what are the 3 things you are most grateful for?
I am most grateful for my faith that has never failed me. My general health. And as of late, I've been super grateful for my vision and my hearing.
Yeah.
Because I've realized, like, you're always thinking of the world from your perspective. And if you have great eyesight and great hearing, like, you're not thinking about the person next to you that could be
Yep.
half deaf and half blind. Like, that just recently I've just been super in gratitude for being able to see colors the way I do and be able to see so clearly and hear the music I hear. And yeah.
That's just a great answer, man. And I think that those are the kinds of things that you figure out when you spend some time alone, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely. Last segment could be the hardest one for you to answer. The segment is called, Who Do You Think You Are? So who is Kensie Coppin?
Kensie Coppin is a kind, giving, caring individual who likes to be alone and isolate, who likes to help others, heal others, and loves animals and babies. She's goofy, but she doesn't show that very much, although she wants to, because she can sometimes be funny.
Like right then.
It's not often, but that's my one funny of the year.
You've been funny at least 3 times during this interview. I don't even want to hear that. Get out of here with that.
Yeah, she is here on a mission to inspire others, heal others, and help young children. And yeah, that's who Kensie Coppin is.
Very cool stuff. Kensie Coppin on the Boston Chris podcast. The website is a little bit different. It's kensiecoppin.myshopify.com. You guys go check that out. We're going to put that in the link we're going to put a link in the description below for that as well. You'll find her store there. Her tour information is there wherever she's playing. There's some badass stuff on there. Get you guys a horse t-shirt. For one.
Yeah.
I think buying merch is probably one of the number one ways to support somebody, right? And of course, going to the shows.
Yes. I haven't gone into the ticket sales part of the entertainment world yet, but as of right now, merch and streams and follows and shares and all of that.
Yes, big time. All free to do, by the way.
Yeah, and definitely coming to the shows.
Super free to share something, man. I don't know why people don't do it more often. Like, just
it drives me nuts.
Just click share. Like,
if
you're gonna take the time to click like on it, share it too. Like, let other people.
Well, people
see
aren't even doing that anymore. Like, I had to put a PSA out the other day. I was like, if you're a content consumer and you want to help artists and you love their stuff, the simplest ways to support is to like and to share,
engage,
and comment, engage in it. If you're consuming, give back a little bit. And
I mean, I've been a full-time content creator for almost a decade. So yeah,
not easy stuff.
All of those free things are the best ways to support us. Just engage. That's all. And if you really like something, then recruit other engagers. Like, just
totally.
That's what you got to do, man. That's just the way it is. Kensie, thank you so much for being here on the show. I appreciate you so much.
Thank you for having me. This was a highlight of my week.
Hey, this is Betty Sue. Thanks for tuning in to the Boston Chris Show.